I mean, if we consider, historically, the two powers have never met since 1945, and I would consider that's a success. But of course, the ultimate question comes is what will be the next, and how much willing, North Korea decided to give up nuclear weapons, and that's really the big question, and how much pressure Donald Trump will be able to give to Kim Jong-un in this case, and that's really, trust but verified. That's the phrase we should use in here.
Now, what's interesting is that the topic of sanctions actually didn't come up at all in the signed agreement. It is a bit surprising, as my colleague Martin was saying, that it was referenced in the North Korea media. But before we talk about the sanctions specifically, I want to talk about the so-called reduction of the military exercises, the so-called war games, actually. And many are viewing that as a big concession. Where would China have fit in? Do you think they have had any role in speaking with the US, or is it one of those statements that President Trump may have just made off the cuff and has only realized afterwards that perhaps it had huge repercussions for some of the players in the region, particularly China?
I think it's a mixed bag of both. I think on the one hand, China obviously have put strong stress on North Korean regime in the past 6 months to increasing sanction and close the border. But I think on the other hand, I think both Beijing and Washington keep a line opening and communicate with each other, see how much they can get out of with the Kim regime in this case. So I think on the one hand, yes, Donald Trump might be right, but on the other is really how much North Korea decided to give up and how little they want to give up in this case.
And of course, we've been in this situation before. This isn't the first time an agreement, a similar type of agreement, has been signed that has spells out steps towards denuclearization without anything very concrete. President Trump has said that this time is different because they've got different players involved. Do you agree with that?
Judging by the historical agreements they have been made, I mean, North Korea does not really have a good history of making agreement, making its own premises. And then obviously what I consider in here, there's nothing new compared with the six-party talk we had back to 2005. So I think back to negotiation table, that's really the key message in here. And of course, within China's stance, and China have a great economic interest in calm the border between China and North Korea, and because the northeastern provinces of China, its own economy are very much close intertwined with North Korea regime.
Do you think next steps from here then, of course, we've got further meetings, perhaps the two leaders will meet again, even Kim Jong-un may come to the White House. Aside from putting towards a concrete plan, towards an eventual denuclearization, do you think in return for that, China may actually start pushing for some sanctions relief?
China would certainly push for more sanction relief because, I mean, as I said earlier, it's not just at North Korea's interest, but it's also at China's interest, which is the most important reason why China been pushed forward on the sanction relief in this case.
Hey everybody, it's Hadley Gamble from our new CNBC Middle East Bureau in Abu Dhabi. Thanks for stopping by. Now to watch more, you can try one of the videos that just popped up on your screen. And don't forget to subscribe.